everybody, SuperDorks fan here for another car review. This is, of course, the 2013 Ford Taurus SHO. Huge thanks to Ridge for providing me with this very nice show to review for you guys today. So, about the Ford Taurus SHO, well, it's a very good-looking car. They did a few little styling tweaks for 2013 to, give them a little bit more of a modern look, and I think they look really good here with, this mesh grille, and especially in black. It looks like an undercover cop car almost, and so that should be interesting to drive down the road. I'm sure everyone does a speed limit around him, but yeah, it's a very, attractive looking car. It's a big car. It's a very large vehicle. That's one thing that stands out right away. It's very tall and just very substantial looking, and but it's got a very attractive face, with the headlights there, and you have the little LEDs down at the bottom, and some nice cookie cutter style wheels here. I really like the black and aluminum kind of look to it, and you got the little show badges here and there. You got one on the fender and one on the back, and I think it's got all the nice little bits of chrome trim here and there to kind of set it off with the black, and overall I think it's just a very classy looking car. Right, so for the interior of the Ford Taurus SHO, it's actually really nice. I love these modern Ford interiors. They're really impressive. So anyway, first things first, sitting down in these seats, they're very nice soft leather, very comfortable seats, but the bolstering is definitely on the wider side. It's one of the least aggressive bolsters I've seen in recent cars. Just not a whole lot of bolstering there, and you would think that for the SHO it would be a little bit more of an aggressive seat than the regular Taurus, but these really don't have too much support. I mean, I don't know how many people do actual track driving in these and really need it. I will see when I'm on back roads whether or not it makes much of a difference, but I wish the seats had a little more bolstering to them. Next, though, is the steering wheel in the Taurus here, which is really nice. It's got a cool cutout here for the 9-3 grip for your thumbs. It's a little bit of a deeper grip. It's a little different. It's a larger wheel though, but it actually feels pretty nice. It's leather wrapped, and you got the little paddles behind the wheel here, and you got your buttons to control the gauge cluster and whatnot. And overall, it's a pretty nice wheel though. Pretty comfortable grip. The paddles are placed well. Next is the gauges in the Taurus, which are really great. I kind of gushed about these gauges back when I reviewed the Fusion last year. I love how you have the analog speedometer in the middle, and then you have the two digital portions on the left and on the right, and it's really cool that you can customize those so you can display whatever kind of information you'd like to display. The tachometer is a little bit small there over on the left, but not a big deal. It's still there. It's still large enough. You can see it easily. Come along to the center of the dashboard here. It's really nice. I always love how they, the Sony sound system and this gloss black trim like they have on some of the other Fords as well. It's really cool. I love the capacitive touch. It's very futuristic feeling. Works pretty well for the most part, and no complaints there. I think it's just a really clean design and a really nice setup. You have the classic sync Ford My Touch system that does a really great job. It's the same one that's in my Mustang. It has the 4 quadrants, very easy, straightforward to use, and I think it's one of the better infotainment systems out there. As far as storage space in the Ford Taurus SHO here, the Tauruses seem to have a good amount of storage space. So first you have the map pockets here with a bottle holder in the door, which is nice to have both of those, and very usable. Coming along to the center here, you have this little power outlet, and also a button here for your auto park feature, which is very cool to have, and also has a button here for your rear window shade, sunshade back there. And then you have this little compartment which has one cup holder and a little extra cubby thing there, and then you have another one here which has 2 more cup holders, and you can adjust it right or left here as well, which is nice to have that. And then you have this center armrest, which is very nice and soft, very well padded, and great for resting your arm on. Anyway, you open that up and you have a 2-tiered tray here, and there's not a ton of space. It's decently deep though, I'll say. It's about the same size as my Mustangs, and you have an SD card slot in there. You have your old school AV jacks, and you even have 2 USB ports in addition to a power outlet. So you got all the hookups you want right there. Backseat space in the Taurus SHO is pretty good. So you have a good amount of legroom there, and headroom is pretty good too. There's cutouts in the roof. Without those cutouts, it'd be kind of tight, but with the cutouts there, you actually do have a good amount of room. It's not quite as roomy as you would expect for a car that's this large. I was expecting it to be a little bit roomier, but you sit pretty high up in those back seats still, and so there's not a whole lot of room there. but it's a roomy enough back seat. It's nothing to really complain about. Trunk space in the Taurus is massive. One of the largest trunks I've seen in recent memory. Very impressive. You can fit all kinds of stuff in there, as you can see, that Ridge has done. He's got lots of stuff in there. You can fit plenty of things, and a very, very usable trunk. All right, so start up and go for a drive. The Taurus here has a very nice, slim, sleek key fob. Anyway, it's got the push button start, so you just leave this key in your pocket, hit the engine start button, and it starts right up. All right, so setting off in the 2013 Ford Taurus SHO. So, first thing you notice, you're sitting up high in this car. I mean, you can put the seat down, but it's still a fairly high seating position, just the way the car is built. And so it gives you a very commanding view of the road. Visibility is very good. The hood drops down nicely. You have a good view out of the back as well. Sides pretty good. You've got pretty beefy B-pillars here. Other things you notice right away. The steering has a nice weight to it so far. It's a tad on the light side, but I think for a sedan, a luxury sedan like this is what you want, and feels pretty good actually, though. I'm getting a lot of feeling through it. As we're going over bumps here, it's a pretty comfortable ride so far as well, and this is a large car, and it's a heavy vehicle. It's almost 4,400 pounds, so definitely not a lightweight by any means, but I think that, because of that, it makes it a very comfortable car. It's very solid feeling going down the road. Another thing you do notice right off the bat too is that it's pretty quiet in here. I mean, lots of sound deadening. You can't hear anything going on outside really, and so and you can, obviously it's very quiet inside as well, so it feels very refined. It actually feels more refined than some of the German luxury cars as far as sound deadening and things like that go. Alrighty, so we're gonna put the transmission into sport mode here, and let's turn it down onto this back road and see how it does. Here we go. Okay, so yeah, it gets up to speed pretty quickly. It's very impressive. So we have a 3.5 liter twin turbo V6 engine that is doing 365 horsepower and 350 pound-feet of torque, which gets this thing up and moving pretty quickly, especially with the all-wheel drive system that this has. So 0 to 60 time in these is right around 5.2 seconds, and feels every bit as fast as that. It just got a good little, guttural sound to it. It's a very burly sounding V6 engine as well, especially with its turbos, and I'm sure with an exhaust it'd sound even meaner. But anyway, so just cruising down this back road here at a spirited pace, I suppose. It feels pretty good, honestly. Let's go around a few corners here, get a feel for it. I wish the steering got a little heavier as we gain speed here, but it seems to be about the same weight, and it's not bad actually. Going around some corners here, it doesn't seem to have really too much body roll either. Now this even has torque vectoring through braking, so as we come up to this tight corner I always take, we can see about the body roll and see how this torque vectoring, if it makes a difference here in regular driving. Okay, so you feel the weight, and there is some roll there, but it's not bad. It's fairly well controlled. It doesn't feel sloppy by any means. It's just a big car and you're sitting up high, so it does the best that it can with what it has, but it felt pretty good. I want to get around some more corners here and sample it a little more, but before we do that, we'll see about this power again. Man, when you from a dig, this thing just really takes off. It just launches. Really impressive performance from a standstill, and just a very nice driving car. And we're passing another Taurus that is a police car. Imagine that. That's the funny thing about this. I think a lot of people think you're an undercover cop with an all-black Taurus, but yeah, as we're just cruising down a regular road here, though, it's really nice and comfortable. I mean, super smooth ride, and I think this would be a really nice daily driver, cruiser. I mean, you have heated and cooled seats, you got a heated steering wheel, just every luxury feature you could want. You can, in this one doesn't have it, but you can actually get massage seats as an option, as well as a few other really decadent options as well. So, I mean, you can really make these super, super nice. And I mean, even just with standard equipment here, it's still an extremely nice vehicle. And anyway, I'm going to drive this car around for a little while longer here, taking on some more back roads and stuff, and I'll come back and give you some updated impressions. Alright, so I've been driving this car some more now, and have a few more impressions here of it. And the first thing is, this paddle shifters with this transmission. Now, this is a standard 6-speed automatic torque converter. It's not like any of the new slick, ZF8 speeds or anything. So it holds onto gears, and it doesn't shift super quick, but the upshifts are pretty quick, and the downshifts aren't bad either, but it's definitely not as fast as, any of the stuff from Germany or anything like that. But it does a decent enough job. Honestly, just leaving the car in sport mode, it figures itself out well enough that I don't really think you need to paddle shift it yourself too much. Yeah, so that's one thing that I've noticed. Another thing that I've noticed is it feels bigger to me than all the competition, like the Chevrolet SS, even though that is probably about the same size. It's just that felt lower to the ground and more agile and sharper. It feels really good with what it's working with, but it's still just, I can't get over the fact that it feels like it's heavy, and it's something that it doesn't handle quite as good as some of the competition. I think that's for sure. I think this is a better suited car for straight line kind of areas and areas where you're not tearing up a back road. I mean, it can do it, like I said, it's got the torque vectoring, and it does handle itself pretty well. I took it around some really tight corners, and it does an okay job. It's not the sharpest thing. It doesn't instill a lot of confidence in me. It can handle it and everything, but it doesn't make me want to drive it faster and faster around corners. It's really fun on straight line. I mean, this torque, this thing just pulls from any speed, any RPM. It's just a beast of a motor. And the transmission, like right there, I'm in sport mode, it's immediate to downshift and give you that power that you want. So it's really fun in the straight line areas, and it's fun around the mild corners. But the more that you push it, the more that I wish that there was a little less mush there than there is. And that's the one thing. I think if you put some lowering springs on it, maybe some anti-sway bars, things like that, it would really go a long way. It's a very comfortable car, and I think that was the main thing. And as we test out the brakes, it also brakes very well too. That's one thing that they improved here for 2013 as well. And there is a performance package you can get for these that will sharpen things up a little bit and make it a more track-ready Taurus SHO. And so that's something that is an option. You can get that. This does not have that performance package, but I think its top priorities are straight line speed and comfort, and giving you a really nice daily drive kind of powerful experience, and not so much a backroads carver. It's fun and engaging, with that great power band you have. You have power everywhere, so you just stomp on it and it goes. But it definitely is not, I would not consider this my first choice for a backroads carver for a sports sedan. I think the Chevy SS definitely feels better in the handling department. And things like the Audi S4 and stuff like that also feels sharper as well, although they don't have as comfortable of a ride as this does. So that's where your trade-off is. You definitely have a more comfortable ride with this, but you do sacrifice some of the handling performance. The great thing about these is that although they retail for at least 40 grand, a lot of them are even higher than that for the starting price, and even get up into the 50s. With the depreciation on these, you can actually get a screaming deal on one, get them for nearly half that these days. And so that's really where the deal is had, is whether you use one of these. This one's only got 36,000 miles, and even with low miles like that, they're going for mid-20s in the used car market. So a very affordable car now, and so that's where the deal is. And getting one of these for that price, it's very impressive, very competitive. You get a lot of really great tech, being only a 2-year-old car, and it's really impressive. Do one last little acceleration here. It flies. It's really an impressive power plant. I'm sure a 3.5-liter twin-turbo V6 has way more potential than even 365 horsepower. So I'm sure with some tuning and whatnot, this thing would be well over 400 easily. So it's just a beast waiting to be unleashed even more if you want to do that. But yeah, a really great car here. Huge thanks to Ridge again for allowing me to review it for you guys. Let me know what you think about the Ford Taurus SHO and how it stacks up to its competitors. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you next time. Take care.